There we go. Yo, did that make a crack sound through the speakers? Now you're probably asking, Shay, what do you have in store for us today? What kind of goodies are you adding to the R-Spec? Well, this is kind of simple, and huge shout out and thank you to my brother and sister-in-law. For Christmas, they got me this really neat thing. They got me a dash cam. And I've kind of always wanted one. It's a gift, so don't talk trash on the brand or whatever. One cool thing is, it's funny because it states that it only does 720p resolution, but it actually does 1080p when you plug it in. I already tested it out. It might be, I don't know, an updated version. One thing that you'll notice is that I also have this. It says Auto-Vox charger. So in a moment, I'm going to show you why I have a separate car charger. It does come with one, but there's a main reason why I decided to go out and splurge and buy a new one. Dash cams aren't super duper expensive, but one upgrade that I would recommend would be updating the memory card that's built in and getting a bigger one. And in this case, for this dash cam, I also recommend getting a different car charger. You could either hardwire one, or in my case, I'm going to show you this Auto-Vox one. Obviously, Auto-Vox also makes their own dash cams, and they come with a similar charger, so you wouldn't have to go out and buy a different one. But here, let's show you. Alright, so going into why I bought the extra charger, to give you an idea. So this is the charger that came in the box for the Pilot dash cam, and it's really nasty. I don't like how fat and big that is. I went and I got the Auto-Vox version, and one, the cable is actually a little longer, which is really cool, as opposed to the stock one. Still pretty long, but it feels better. It's thicker cable, so that's one. And then this is the actual charging port, so it's a lot smaller, feels more sturdy, and as an added plus, has a little USB port, so even though you're using up your cigarette lighter or 12 volt output, whatever you want to call it, you can still charge your phone. So big plus. Most dash cams, also just a note, come with mini USB as opposed to micro, so just make sure that your camera is compatible with that. If you're in the market looking for a dash cam, I got lucky, like I said, this was a gift, but if you do a lot of nighttime driving, make sure that it's compatible with, nighttime modes, has a better ISO or has some sort of nighttime infrared lighting. So this one's got infrared bulbs, as you can tell, through on each side. So this should help nighttime visibility as far as capturing footage. There's a lot of cameras that don't have that, so just keep that in mind. That's kind of a major thing. I really like the small form factor of this. So there's the screen, has all your option buttons. In order to power these, it has to be constantly plugged in, but this one has like a slight battery, like probably the tiniest thing ever, that'll let you use it for about 10-15 minutes before it completely dies out. So constant power source. Make sure that when you're at home, if you're trying to take footage off, either just take out the memory card slot, it's a micro SD, or make sure you're constantly plugging into power. This camera, like I said, came with everything: the charger, the bracket or suction cup bracket, little USB cable for home use. If you don't have, well, I guess micro is more common, so if you don't have an extra longer mini USB, you might want to invest in that because this one's kind of small as well. So yeah, let's get straight to the install. Alright, so this is my front windshield. You could be super lazy and just mount, the actual thing, dash cam somewhere, anywhere on the window, the side, whatever your personal preference is, and then just route the cable and plug it down here to the outlets. But like I mentioned, there's also the option to hardwire. However, in my case, I kind of want the camera out of sight, especially because I don't want to show the big bulgy suction cup. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to place the suction cup section up here in this tinted area of my windshield. And a lot of cars have this area tinted. If you have a more advanced car, you might have like a plastic cover here because there's what's it called, lane assist sensors and parking sensors and all that good stuff. In my case, there's nothing. So the plan is to actually have that adapter and tuck in the wire all through the roof lining down the A pillar and somehow hidden behind the glove box and down here. Like I said, I want to clean. Other people hardwire one through the electrical of the, well, these little lights. So I'm not doing that. You know, that's a little more hardcore, and I'm trying to keep things a little simple. So we're gonna put the suction cup here, so that way the camera will be sitting basically right behind your rear view mirror and still focusing on the majority of the road. It's obviously recommended to put the camera in the middle, because that way it'll capture most everything. And it doesn't make sense for me to have it down here because of the fact that I do use a GoPro for footage when we're doing our vlogs. So I'm gonna test fit first, and then we'll go from there. So first things first is to clean the area, because it's obviously glass, so I already did that. Second thing is to get a feel on how it's gonna mount. So I put the actual dash cam on already, and because the windshield's tilted, you'll see that I have the suction cup tilted that way and the camera facing. So I'm gonna do a test fit, remove the stickiness, and just kind of get a feel for how this is gonna stick up here. As you can see already, you know, my idea is gonna be kind of decent. You can have it stick out a little bit, it's up to you, but I'm probably gonna have it sitting right behind because I don't really need to see it filming, especially at nighttime. You don't want that screen kind of blinding you. Alright, so I test fitted it. I had to adjust it a bit because obviously you want it to point down a little bit looking at the road. So a good test is to, when you're aiming it, turn on the camera for a moment, make sure that you can see the dashboard, and then just tilt it up a bit, so that way obviously it's down enough that you can see down the hood in front of you, and to the angles once again. So that's where I mounted it. So one, make note of what side the port plugs in. In my case, it plugs in on this left side right here, and then make sure that you just give it a little slack hanging before you shove it in. For this, you are going to need body panel tools. So again, Harbor Freight is your friend because they have quite cheap ones, but any of them will do. So already you can see that I did decide to give it some slack. Here's the rest of the cable hanging. With that body panel removal, you're literally just going to shove the cable into the roof lining. So it's already shoved part of it in there. So now you're just going to do the whole process and bring it in all the way. Okay, so as you can see, part of it's already tucked in. So now, I'm gonna
go around here on this side.
Alright, so I already tucked it all the way in. And I'm just gonna show you to demonstrate so you can hear it. It's already tucked in, but yeah, you hear that? It's really easy. You just push in the cable in. Now you're left with this. So if you're really hardcore about it, you can literally remove, the A-pillar. What I'm actually gonna do is right here, I'm gonna bring it in, and I'm gonna actually tuck it in into this, the rubber molding for the, for weather carding?
What?
I forget what this molding is.
The weather strip? There's a weather strip in this.
The weather strip into the A-pillar and just bring it all the way down. So that way, you know, it's kind of an easy way for you guys. It's really hard to see, so you shouldn't have an issue with it, and it shouldn't look too bad. But like I said, if you're really hardcore, you can either tuck it in by taking out the A-pillar, and technically you could run it down. But a lot of cars have airbags in the A-pillar, so that's the way I'm gonna do it this time. Alright, so we tucked in the wire as best as possible. The only one showing is up here, but just make sure you tighten it up, and this shouldn't really be bothering you. What we're doing now is, because the wires reach down here, we're using the body panel removal tool to remove this little side body panel, and we're actually going to route the cable through there. Just make sure that you're really careful. I mean, that's what body panel removals are for, and as you can see, that clip right there, you know, it'll easily pop back in.
I'm sorry.
But like I said, you just want to be careful. So in this situation, there we go. So cool. Alright, so now we've routed the cable through here, and as you can see, I'm going to guide it through here for the glove box. So, progress being made. There we go.
Yeah, it's the smallest opening, alright. Giggity.
We're just going to basically push it and shove quiet. You'll hear it pop. Don't worry about that little bit of wire being caught in there. The cable's there, so that one's probably going to clip, but not as much as you'd like it. But that's fine. It's not going to come off. As you can see, there's a little crevice right here because that's where the cable's at. But you'll be fine. It's not going to damage anything. But
it's actually not bad. It's pretty. Oh, there you go.
There we go.
So upon opening up the glove compartment, Shay discovered something funny. Tell him, Shay.
Found my screws for my license plate. I went to go buy some because I thought I didn't get them. So we've routed the cable in the glove box, and it's obviously behind everything. So now we just gotta find a way to tuck this extra wire somewhere, and then just have this sitting out flush so it can connect and not have any issues. Alright, so we're just trying to figure out how to get into the last little section of body panel somewhere so we can just route that cable. As you can see, it's hanging out from the bottom of the glove box. That's not a big issue, and the glove box still closes without any problem. But like I said, we're trying to find solutions so we can have it sit like that. It might just be as simple as probably having tape or something, but we're gonna try to hook it to something so it's just as tight as possible. Alright, so just a little bit of like kind of tightening up, because obviously we're not doing this super professionally where we're removing panels to make sure the wire is fully hidden. So the wire obviously is running through the glove box. This right here is the little knob that kind of holds the glove box in place. So there's one on each side. Unlock it and pull it out, so that way you can route the excess wire through here but behind it. So that way it'll allow you to drop the wire and it's actually underneath the glove box. Once you've routed that wire, you just, make sure it sits and then relock it. So that's why the wire's back here. Otherwise, the wire's gonna be in front of it, and it's kind of harder to tuck away. So as you can see right now, the only part of the wire that you can see, because all the junk is underneath it, is this little portion that goes up, but it'll allow you to close the trunk much easier. The remaining wire is down here hanging, and as you can see, this is the bottom part of the glove box. That's where the wire's at. What I just did is the excess amount I routed and I just tucked in here, and as you can see, it's sticking out. For now, this is the easiest solution, because I don't want you guys, if you're handy and you want to take the risk, you can go in and start removing a little bit of the body or tucking it in with the body removal panel. But that's really the only wire you're going to see, along with the one by the A-pillar, and then you're plugged in. I'm lopsided right now, but so yeah, pretty easy overall. That's what we have. And then when you're done, obviously you can have this plugged in and it's sitting rather flush. That's the only wire you'll see, and it's tucked in. So as you can see, no wires going to the side, no wires because we submitted it through this panel. This is all sitting flush. Once again, no wires. The only wire you'll see is once you get up here, and I made sure to line this up as tight as possible. So this is the only wire you'll see. Everything else is tucked up, and then when you're plugged in, you're perfect. So hopefully that was kind of helpful for you guys on how to install a dash cam. When you turn on the car, the dash cam functions perfectly. It's a great little addition. So yeah, it's plugged in, so it's powered on. It has a little red LED to let you know that it's receiving power. So the cool thing is, unlike the USB port, you can actually leave this plugged in at all times, and as long as the car is off, it's not going to be receiving any power. But as you can see, the cam is fully powered on, facing forward. I left enough slack in the cable that it's not going to be bothering you, but to the point where you can unplug it and plug it in easily, even if you remove the camera. And this camera slides right off. See, we have enough slack, so pretty easy install. The camera turns on automatically the moment you turn it on. Turn the car on, and then it just records. So we're all set. Pretty basic install again. Hope you guys learned something, and hopefully it was helpful enough that if you guys are fortunate enough to get one of these as a gift or buy one, or you're in the market for it, and you're trying to keep your car kind of clean and at the same time not go through tearing everything apart, this is probably one of the best options to keep things nice and routed. Alright guys, until next time, waifu says bye. Bye. Well, I guess the camera turns off when it's recording, which is good to know because we're still receiving power. Oops, we're still receiving power.
Slap my saddle and call me cowboy.